Even minerals known to humans for millennia still have secrets to reveal. Today, exclusively, we're uncovering something new about Rhodonite. Rhodonite, named after the Greek rhodos, which means rose, for, you guessed it, the flowers growing on it. For ages, jewelers admired rhodonite's colors, but ironically, many of those pieces weren't rhodonite at all. What we once called rhodonite has now been split into 3 minerals under the rhodonite group. The International Mineralogical Association found they share a similar formula, but with subtle structural differences or cation substitution. Think about more iron instead of manganese. Try to pronounce the names of these minerals at home. I know I won't. The IMA changes reflect how modern techniques are constantly refining old classifications. The only thing making it easier to identify them is their darker shade of pink, since true rhodonite's hardness is 5.5 to 6.5. These 3 minerals were easily misidentified as the pink rhodon itself, as they all fall within that range. You were lucky if you got your hands on the more grayish to brown colors of rhodonite, as it would make it easier to identify the triclinic mineral. Jewelers have used rhodonite for ages. Its soft pinks set against a dark matrix make it a striking material to work with. Well, according to the highest and best sources on the internet, this covers all the colors of rhodonite, right? Right? But what if I told you there's one more? Well, a new color is joining the list today. Orange! Orangutan. Orange! Yes, that is right. This video might be the first ever footage of orange rhodonite on the internet, baby. How exciting! Wow, 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 wow! But how do we know it's rhodonite and not one of its imposters? According to my sources, which I trust reasonably well, the specimen from Italy was identified using X-ray diffraction, or XRD. So, what is XRD? If you've been watching the channel, you know I've covered ways to ID minerals. The hardness test, looking at the color, acid tests, and even streaks on porcelain. But none of these are foolproof. They're helpful, sure, but don't offer complete certainty, especially when dealing with minerals that share chemistry but differ structurally. The one method yielding a higher certainty rate is XRD, or X-ray diffraction, by blasting a small sample, usually in powdered form, of the mineral with X-rays. The data coming back, having interacted with the sample, tells us precisely the physical makeup of that sample. The diffraction pattern tells us how atoms are arranged in the crystal structure, revealing not just the composition, but the architecture of the crystal. The identification is way more precise with this method and helps identify tiny crystals that could be polymorphs. The most significant caveat is how expensive such machinery is and how only research centers or universities can afford it. It would be fascinating to investigate the cause of the orange color. Still, I theorize that it could be caused by a different oxidative state of the manganese contained within the crystal, but just as likely, the orange hue could result from surface oxidation or weathering over time, creating a thin layer of manganese oxides that shift the appearance. Manganese Mn2+, is usually the cause of the pink color in rhodonite, but a minor tweak to Mn3+ could cause a whole new look. Because these orange crystals are pretty small and extremely rare, they won't appear in any jewelry store soon. Sorry folks. They're mostly a curiosity for collectors and researchers alike, as mineral science keeps evolving. researchers might discover even more members of the Rhodonite group in the future. It is only the beginning of the journey for this age-old grandpa. For more on everything about minerals, visit my channel Mindex. Thank you for sticking to the end, and please do not forget to click the like and subscribe buttons. Peace out. Let me come down. Tum 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 tum. Rhodos. Podov. Researchers. Orange.